that wants to catch up with this on the Millionaire Mafia back office, they can do that. So my name's Ben. Obviously, started Millionaire Mafia about 14 months ago. Quit my job. Started off with teaching people how to make money through Instagram after I had taught myself to do that. And then just in the last couple of months, I thought, you know what? Really what helped me to be able to market all of this and grow it was sales skills and learning how to develop relationships with people, getting people to know, like, and trust me, providing value, and learning a multitude of different types of marketing, from email marketing to webinars to membership sites to sales funnels to Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, influencer marketing, all that different stuff. And I put that together and I'm like, okay, people need to learn this also. So then we came out with Millionaire Mafia Marketing Affiliate Mastery, not to teach you to be an affiliate marketer, but to teach you marketing and how to successfully be an affiliate. And then I'm like, you know what? But the next century is probably going to be run by cryptocurrencies. So I need to teach everything that I know about that, which is a lot and growing every day. So all of these trainings, I'm actively going to be putting more and more knowledge and more teachings and videos and PDFs and text and everything into. So really good stuff. And I have like 5, 6 more videos, 6 or 7 more videos to add to the crypto course and a whole bunch of information. So first of all, for those of you that are not familiar with Bitcoin, I'm just going to show you a couple things real quick. So I'll bring it up on my screen here. Let's see. We're going to sign in. I'll screen share with you guys so that way you can see it. At Gmail. Let's see, at gmail.com. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm going to screen share with you guys. Share screen. Share. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, just let me know in the chat box real quick. I just want to make sure that you can see my screen. And people say yes. Okay, awesome, great, thank you. Okay, cool. So first of all, I would normally show you Coinbase, coinbase.com. Coinbase.com is simply a wallet that allows you to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, different things like that. But being as all of you have already mentioned that you have Bitcoin, I was going to show you Coinbase. I think I'll skip that. I don't need to show you how Coinbase works or how to get Bitcoin. You guys already know that. And if you have Crypto Mastery, you already know that as well. So I'm going to skip the whole Coinbase part. What I do want to show you is day trading and auto trading, okay? And day trading is something that is literally a skill that you have to acquire. It's not something where you can just invest and then hope that you're going to be able to create income, and then later on that coin skyrockets to $1,000 or 11,500 like Bitcoin did, or something like that. You've got to be a little bit more strategic about this. So guys, you probably will want to get a pen and a piece of paper out for this, because I'm going to be explaining a lot of science about day trading, and I want you guys to fully understand this, okay? So I'm over here on Bittrex. Bittrex is an area where I day trade. So simply put, I actually pulled a lot of money out of this, put it back in Bitcoin, and then I'm about to put it back in Bittrex again. But let me just show you. I need to log in real quick. That would probably help. I want to show you guys the science of candlesticks, okay? With day trading, there's what we call Japanese candlesticks. They are red and green bars. The first thing that I want you guys to write down is that a green candlestick means the coin is going up in value. It's an upward trend. A red candlestick means it's going down in value. It's a downward trend, all right? I am going to go into wallets here and just show you a couple things. I only have a couple $1,000s worth of Bitcoin in here at the moment, but here's what I want you to see. So here's all these different coins that I've invested a little bit of money into, right? So Bitcoin, obviously I have some Bitcoin in here. When you start out day trading on Bittrex, you need to, and don't make this mistake, guys, you can only fund a exchange wallet with Bitcoin, okay? So when you come into Bittrex and you want to buy Bitcoin derived alternative coins, meaning currencies that their markets are based off of the Bitcoin, you need to fund the wallet with Bitcoin, all right? So click that little plus icon. Here's the wallet address. If anybody wants to send me Bitcoin in here to day trade, I'd be fine with that. Just kidding. But take this wallet address, and this is the one that you want to send into, not the minus symbol, the plus. That means add, this means withdraw. Make sure you only put it into Bitcoin. You can see here that I have practically no available balance of Bitcoin. I have 0.12 reserved. The reason being is I am waiting for markets to come down on several alternative currencies before I actually buy. I don't want to buy them at the value that they're worth right now, okay? So I have it reserved. If we go into orders here real quick, you'll see that I have several open orders. So I have Scicoin, which is SC. I have Stratus, which is STRAT. I have XLM. I have Syscoin, and I actually have a little bit more Scicoin right here. It shows that the type of order is a buy. You can have buy orders and sell orders. Down here are my complete orders. You can see I have a whole bunch of sells and buys. But here's what I'm pending, right? So that Bitcoin balance that's reserved that I showed you is pending on these being bought. Okay, so what it shows here is here's how much I've said I'm willing to pay for this coin. What I want you guys to write down next is this is a Satoshi value. And for those of you that are already familiar with Bitcoin and extremely familiar, don't worry, I'm going to get into the advanced stuff in a little bit. This is a Satoshi value. Satoshi value is an 8-digit behind the decimal number. So you're going to have 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So this is 59 Satoshi, for example. This is 46,000 Satoshi. This is 459 Satoshi. This is 2,851 Satoshi, and then 59 Satoshi again. So what this simply means is I'm looking to buy Scicoin at 59 Satoshi per coin. So if you take 59 Satoshi, that's literally like what like a penny or something like that. It's literally like 1 cent, 1 US cent is what this coin is worth right now. But just let me put the thought in your head. What if you invested $1,000 into a coin that was worth 1 penny, and then at a certain point in the future it was worth 2 pennies? That would be a 200% return on investment. You take your 1,000 and you turn it into 2,000. So I have decided, if you see all the way over to the right, just next to the X, I've decided, let's go down to this one right here on the bottom. I've decided I want to invest 0.04 Bitcoin, which is only about $450, $500. I wanted to invest that much into Scicoin at 59 Satoshi. If you take 0.04 and divide it by this Satoshi, by 59 Satoshi, that means that when this buy order fills, I'm going to get 68,275 coins. Are you guys following me so far? Let me know in the chat real quick before I continue on, because the next thing I'm going to explain is going to be a little bit more advanced. Okay, Shake says yes. Igor says yes. Anybody else saying yes? Okay, good. Good. Okay, so next thing, guys, I'm going to show you an actual coin market. So let's actually click over here and go to SC. Now, there's several different trading platforms you guys can use. There's Polynex, which is a really good one, and then there's Bittrex. They're both very, very, very similar. Sometimes with ICOs, which stands for initial coin offering, when a coin's created, it goes through a series of marketing and ads and people investing in it, and then it gets international acceptance into the exchanges. Not all coins are on every exchange, and not all coins, if they are on every exchange, are put on at the same time. So sometimes a very kind of witty technological person that is very involved in this, they will look at something like this and they'll be like, okay, I'm going to go over to Polynex because it's not on Bittrex yet. I'm going to make my money there before it shows up on Bittrex. See what I mean? So if you want to start looking at an actual coin information sheet, which is what I'm on right here, you literally go to markets and then you type in the abbreviation for the coin. So say it was SC, that's what I'm on right now, is Scicoin. And then you'd click it and it would go to Scicoin. Now Scicoin, for those of you that want to write this down, this is a long-term investment coin. There's short-term investment coins and there's long-term investment coins, and there's coins that you can create profits in the short term and in the long term. And I'm going to dive into that and explain the differences with that. But right now, you can see that Scicoin is currently 89 Satoshi, which is worth a penny. And that's the bid on it. The ask on it is 90 Satoshi, which is also a penny. The 24-hour high is 113 Satoshi, which is also a penny. The 24-hour low is 69 Satoshi, which is also a penny. It's worth so little right now that, you know, I wouldn't say this in most cases, but it almost doesn't matter whether you are buying at 69 Satoshi or 113. It's a penny. So if you invested $10,000 in here between 69 Satoshi and 113 Satoshi, that literally might be like a $50 difference. And you're going to get millions of coins at that point. So it's almost irrelevant at that point, but it's usually not the case. You know, usually you're seeing a much wider variance. You know, if you're seeing a variance from 3 to 5 cents or 3 to 6 cents, that's a lot. Investing at the wrong time could be a very costly mistake for you. But what do these actually mean right here? I'm going to dive into this a little bit further and show you a couple things. So see this bid and this ask. The bid simply means here's people saying, yeah, I want to buy, but here's how much I want to buy, 801,826 for a total of 0.71 Bitcoin, or 0.78 Bitcoin now, but I only want to pay 89 Satoshi for it. And then here's people saying, well, we'll sell, but we don't want to sell that low. We'll sell at 90. So you got these guys just trying to undercut a little bit and get it for a little bit less. So that's where you get the bid and the ask. And as you can see, these are changing in a little bit. Like, see, that one just changed. This market is moving a little bit right here. The next thing that you want to look at, as far as a coin to trade, what you want to look at is a couple things. You want to look at activity, in other words, volume. If the coin is not producing volume in the trade, it's not moving. If it's not moving, there are going to be much less opportunities to trade, much less opportunities to create profit. If the coin's not moving in volume, there's not going to be opportunities to create profit. So the first thing you want to see is volume. See how this has 3,480 in Bitcoin volume? Well, that's awesome. That's actually very high volume. You don't need to have that high volume to make money on a coin. You know, 300, 400 daily volume in Bitcoin is just great. But there's a lot of coins that have like 2 Bitcoin volume, 10 Bitcoin volume, 100 Bitcoin volume. Stay away from that stuff, you know. Be working in the, you know, multiple hundreds to, you know, several thousands in volume daily. So that's one of the first things you want to look at. The second thing that you want to look at is not only volume, but variance. You know, is the coin moving in value a lot? What creates it to be moved in volume a lot is large quantities of buys and sells. If you look at a coin that's got, you know, a lot of volume, but it's, you know, 39.5 cents, 39.8 cents, 39.4 cents, 39.8 cents, and it seems to do that a lot, there's not a lot of opportunities from a short-term investment point to make money on it, because if you only have it going up and down a half a cent each day, it's going to take thousands and thousands of dollars to invest to really have any sort of profit. So you want to look at volume and you want to look at variance. The third thing that I look at, and once again, this is for identifying a coin to invest in. It might not necessarily be the right time to invest, but I look at volume, I look at variance, and I look at the history behind the coin. So I'm going to go look at Scicoin, and I'm going to hop on Google. I'm going to type it in, and I'm going to look at the coin information. What brought it to the market? What's so popular about it? Why is it moving right now? What's the premise behind the coin? Why was it invented? What market does it occupy? What makes it different from the other coins? Now I determine that it's, you know, a very productive coin, that Microsoft endorses it, or that the Olympics endorse it, or that it's a gaming coin for all Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo players and different stuff like that, for them to receive and give payments to each other. Then I might go, okay, cool. If it's a coin that is used by Apple, well, probably a good idea. So I look at the volume, I look at the variance, and I look at the reason. Now the next thing, we're going to actually talk about these candlesticks, these green candlesticks and these red candlesticks. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit closer. Okay, so we have a green candlestick and we have a red candlestick. What I want you guys to understand is here's what happens. Every single one of these candlesticks represents time. You can see down here how we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So you've got 2 hours between, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks. So each one of these is about 30-minute time period here. What I want you guys to understand is how they work. So a green candlestick, for example. A green candlestick, so see this one right here? This one, it closed right here, okay? So the time frame ended on this, it closed right here. And green candlesticks, they close at the top, they open at the bottom. So when this one closed and that time period ended, this green candlestick opened, okay? This green candlestick opened. What actually happened is it started to go, it opened right here, and then it started to go down a little bit. You see this little downward line right here? This is called a shadow right in here. This is a downward shadow. It started to move down, so the coin was decreasing in value. But then it came back up. It came back up, okay? So it came back up because people started buying, thus driving the value of the coin up. So it came back up right to where it started back out. So it started here, started to go down, came right back up, right at where it started, then it passed it. Once it passes that, it forms an upward moving green candlestick. Green is when it's going up. So it came up, it kept going up, and then it came back down to this point. So what actually caused this green candlestick to close is it started, right, once this cycle ended, it moved over here, it started to go down. If it would have kept going down, it would have turned red. But it went back up. Once it went back up to its initial start and kept going up, it created the green candlestick. And it kept going up, kept going up, kept going up. And then it started coming down when people started selling. So it came down, came down, came down. And then it came down to a certain point right here where it overlapped itself again. And that ended the green. So it closed here. So what you've got to understand about green is you open here and you close here. It's not always going to be the case where you have an upper shadow or a lower shadow. That only happens when a new candlestick starts, a new time period starts, and it either goes down and then back above its initial starting point, or above and then back to its close. That creates these shadows. And then where the green closes, the red opens. So you got to remember, green opens at bottom, green closes at top. Since the green closes at the top, what does that mean for the red? The red opens at the top and closes at the bottom. So what happened with the red? It started here. It actually started going back up. And then it came back down past its initial starting point, thus creating a downward moving red candlestick. It went way down here on this lower shadow, and then it came back up and overlapped itself, hence closing this red candlestick. That is what a green candlestick and a red candlestick is. Those are the differences. Once again, you won't always create a downward or an upper shadow. You won't always create an upper or a lower shadow. Those are only created if it opens and closes, but before it opens and closes, it moves past its open point and overlaps it again, or past its closing point and overlaps it again. Is what I'm saying making sense so far, guys? And some of you guys are like, okay, well, what really is this bottom and the top? That literally symbolizes the low on this and the high on this. So during this cycle right here, during this 30 minutes or this 30 minutes, its high in this 30 minutes was right here. Its low was right here. Okay, does that make sense? I'm going to open this chat real quick and see what people say. Yes, it makes sense. Okay, great. Moving on then, guys. Next thing, if you are looking to create opportunities to create short-term profits, what you typically want to look at is, I'm going to zoom out a little bit again. You see how some of these bars are very noticeable. Like this bar is pretty big, 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 and then you've got a whole bunch of these short ones. This one you can hardly recognize. This is little, this is little, this is little, this is little, okay? When they're very small, when they're very, very, very small, it literally means that it's such a tight trading opportunity. There's not as much volume happening during that time, and there's not as much quantities. The amount of the coin being bought and sold is very little. Like, there's many people doing it, there's many people buying and selling, but the amount is very little. It's not going to create very good opportunities to trade, because it's not creating enough variance in the market to have very big profits. So I actually wrote this down in a note here. It's not as volatile would be the right word. So this was a very volatile area right in here and right in here. But like this guy right here and this green guy right here and this green guy, this red guy, not very volatile. If you look, say you had bought way down here, you know, at, what is it, 89 Satoshi. This is, look at how small this is. 93 Satoshi. That's only up 4 Satoshi. 1 Satoshi. Look at that. That's a 1 Satoshi variance. You literally have to have millions of dollars on this particular coin for you to really return any sort of notable profit in a trade like this, let alone anywhere really on this coin, because it's really only been worth 1 cent for the last pretty much forever, if that. You can actually see it's way higher than where it actually started. So when you're trading, you're going to be able to create the most profits when you have volatility during a cycle. Okay, volatility in a candlestick, a very long candlestick. Now, I've tried to make this as basic and simple as I can. When you're actually looking to get into a market or trade in the market, here's things that you want to look for. And I'm actually going to go to a different coin. Let's go to like maybe XEM and take a look at this coin and this market on it. XEM, also a good long-term coin, and if I'm not mistaken, also a coin that you can create some short-term profits with. So, you know, if, for example, the 24-hour low on this coin is 27 cents and the 24-hour high is 30 cents. You know, with a 3 cent variance, you can actually make some money on it. I mean, think about it. So if you had, let me just do this. So if you had $1,000, for example, let's see. So if you had $1,000 and you divided it by 0.27, that's 3,703 coins. 3,703 coins. But you're able to make a 3 cent profit on every single one of those because you sell at you know, 30 cents. That's a $100 profit. And if you guys were able to simply take $1,000 and invest it and make a 3 cent profit every day, I mean, that's $3,000 paid back to you in Bitcoin. So that's pretty cool. So what we'll look at here, when I want to enter the market on a coin, say I've already determined that there's some volume. Like I said, this has 673 in volume. Not super high, but okay. It's got some variance on here. And I've researched the coin. I know what it's about. I know why it's going to be a good coin to invest in. Well, if we go all the way back out towards like its inception, we can look at, okay, April 9th of 2015. Somewhere around there it hits the exchange. Now, if you zoom in, you'll see more opportunities to create money in here. But on here, if you're zoomed out, you're like, okay, there's not really that much opportunity to create trades. Really, if I did zoom in on this, I would find opportunities. Like, see here, 354 Satoshi compared to 1256. Now that obviously doesn't seem, when you're zoomed way out, it doesn't seem like much, right? But like, that's huge. It literally went up 4 times in value when that happened. Even down here, if I had zoomed in and I went, okay, well, let's see, that was worth 32 Satoshi back then. And then it literally tripled in value. That would have made some money. And you go over here and go, okay, well, gosh, but right here it went from 40 Satoshi to 294, or 290. That's huge. It actually went all the way up to 400 because what happened is the market started going up and then the seller started selling and it brought it back down. That's what happens. When you see this right here, when you see a very long upper shadow, that's because the seller started selling and brought it back down. When you see a very long lower shadow, it means the buyer started buying and brought the value back up, okay? So big, long upper shadow means that on a green, big upper shadow on a green means that the seller started selling, brought the market back down. Big lower shadow on a red means that the buyers started buying, brought the market back up again, okay? Sometimes if you see that happen very, very swiftly in a short period of time, it could mean it's either overbought or oversold, okay? But you can see as you zoom in, just you have to, every chart's different, okay? Just because the last one that I showed you had a huge variance doesn't mean anything. The coin's only been worth 1 penny for literally like 8 months, 9 months. It's been worth less before that, but for the last 9 months, you wouldn't have made any money on it because it's been worth literally a penny the whole time. So you can't look at a chart and go, oh, this one's similar, and think, okay, well, I can't make money on this either, because every coin has a different market. This is 27 to 30 cents in the last 24 hours. So you have to take it with a grain of salt and really decipher the chart and go, okay, well, literally the bottom of this, just this cycle right here started at 97 and it went all the way up to 411. I mean, that went from 97 to 411. Let's just look at that. Bitcoin value. If we looked at 97 Satoshi, and we actually look at what it is, Bitcoin value to USD. Okay, so if we go 99 Satoshi, 0.00012345659, that's 1 cent. But then it went up to past 400. 5 cents. There would have been a 4 cent profit. Just think about that, guys. Going from 1 cent to 4 cents, you're taking $1,000 and turning it into 5,000, netting yourself 4,000. You're taking $10,000, turning it into 50, and netting yourself 40. That's huge. I mean, if this doesn't excite you guys, I don't know what does. So when can you actually determine to enter a trade? The first thing I want you guys to know about this is be patient, okay? Be patient. Don't be hasty about your decisions with trading. If you see that, you know, a coin, you look at a coin in the chart and the 24-hour low and high is like huge, you're like, oh man, I'm going to invest now because it's on the low side of it and I'm going to make tons of money. Wait, just take a breath and decipher the chart and look, because it could be that there's a whole $300 difference between a 24-hour low and 24-hour high, or 37 cents to an entire dollar. But the coin could be on a massive bubble right now. And the next day it could go back down to 15 cents, and it could be months or years or never before you're able to make a profit again. Now, it's a little extreme. You usually will make a profit at some point in the future, but you really can start to be very good at almost calculating when you are going to make your profits. And that's the whole goal. You don't want to have to wait in anticipation unless it's a coin like Coin, which I just showed you, which is literally worth a penny. Buy all that you can get. It's going to go up in the next year. It's going to go up. That's a coin heavily invested in with a big purpose. Do some research on it, and it is going to go up. That's a long-term coin, and you can make a ton of money from it. So let's just look at this. So when would be a good time to buy? Okay, one thing that I want to show you, which is maybe good on this coin. When you see a chart like this, where it's green and then green a little bit, and then it was literally just absolutely, it was completely oversold right here, thus driving back down the valley. Huge, long upper shadow. It started going up, it hit a huge spike, people started selling. It became very available. The supply became very available to everybody else wanting to buy it because tons of people are selling it. So it just, boom, tons of people sold and it brought back down the value. And if you'd invested down here, you would have made profit all along this upper shadow. But then the new cycle started going up, came back down, and then it created a red. Closed here, green opened here, came down for a sec, went back up, started the candlestick, went up, came back down, overlapped itself, closed, started red again. Didn't really have an upper shadow on this red. So it actually just basically looks like it went up briefly. I can see a tiny bit, maybe right there. It didn't even. It just started going down. Went down, came back up, overlapped itself, closed. What actually happens, this is a good sign, guys, and this is something to remember, something to use. When you can see this on a trade that you are thinking of entering, when you can see this, it's a good sign. If there is a long lower shadow on a red candlestick, that is not a for sure, but an often sign that this coin is going to move in a downward trend. There could be a red or green in between, but it typically means that this coin is going to move in a downward trend. And so, if we see right here that on August 11th of 2017, this coin started moving in a downward trend, and then a month later, it's still going in a downward trend. A month later, it's still going in a downward trend. It was worth 81.01. It's literally worth only about 30% of that right now. It was at 81.47. It's worth 23.81 right now, or 2,400. And it went low, and then October 10th hit, it's lower. November 10th hit, November 9th hit, and now we're here. It's kept going down, and you can see that we've had a lower shadow, longer lower shadow, longer lower shadow, longer lower shadow. And then this one about even, but still a little bit longer lower shadow. This symbolizes that it's a bear market. A bear market. Bear meaning it's moving in a flat market, a low, a dead spot. Okay. You want to buy in bear markets. When you buy in bear markets, you're investing at the best time. So this is a bear market relative to the last sort of spike, which happened back in July. This is a bear market. This is a bear market for the entire last half of 2017. You have to make a decision at that point. Is it a good time to invest, being as it was worth a lot less in 2016? You know, some people might go, oh, well, that's not good to invest because it was worth a lot less than 2016, and I'll wait because a year and a half ago it's worth a lot less. Well, a year and a half ago, Bitcoin wasn't worth $1,000 or anywhere close to it, and now it's worth $11,174. So be smart, but don't overanalyze. When I'm going, okay, well, Bitcoin's gone from 1,000 to 11,000 this year, I'm more or less going to pay attention to what has happened in 2017 on the coins that I'm day trading. More importantly, like the last 7-8 months of 2017, when we've seen some immense amount of growth with Bitcoin. And I'm not going to really pay too much mind to this, because although it was worth this in 2016, so was Bitcoin. And you have to remember that all of these alternative currencies that I'm showing you are Bitcoin-driven economies, Bitcoin-driven markets, Bitcoin-driven currencies. So when Bitcoin's going up literally 10 times in value in the last 8 months, you have to know that these are going to have not an equal reaction, but very similar oftentimes. So I'm only looking at this going, you know what, I'm paying attention to what's happened in 2017. And to me, this is a great coin to buy, and to buy right now, because it's in a bear market. It's in a bear market. Guys, what is going to happen? I'm telling you, look, bear, 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 bear. Long lower shadow, long lower shadow, long lower shadow, long lower shadow. Buy this, because sooner or later, and who knows, it might continue going down in a bear market again. It might continue tanking, but it's going to go back up. It's going to go back up. There's going to be spots. It might go up to here, and it might go back down here. It might go up here again. But I'm telling you, if you buy right here, there's an opportunity to make a profit. There's an opportunity to make a profit. This will move back up. And what happens with coins like this that have volume and variance is you will find opportunities where, say, you invest $1,000 and you're able to get 3,700 coins. Let's just say 4,000 coins, and it goes up 2 cents. You're able to make $50, and then it goes back down 2 cents, and then you buy more to increase your holdings. Then it goes back up 4 cents, and then you sell and you make $150, and then it moves into a bear market again, and you buy and you take your holdings, and all the way along you can be doing what we call day trading, and then also looking to invest in this coin long term. New Economy is a long-term coin. XCM is a long-term coin that also has opportunities to create little trades or even substantial trades if you're playing with a lot of money along the way. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully you understand green candlestick versus red candlestick, and you understand kind of the science of bear markets and when to invest and spikes and different things like that. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat, guys. I know there's 13 of you on here. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That's what I wanted to show you with the actual day trading. And one of the strategies that I use sometimes is there's been coins in the past like, let's see, Litecoin perhaps, LTC, yeah, 0.008. So this coin is worth some money. What's this coin worth? $100, something like that. Okay, yeah, it's worth $98.75 right now. Well, if we look at, let's just go 1 week. Okay, so look at this. It was worth on March 4th, 2017. It was worth 0.003, which at the time in March, Bitcoin was about $1,400. So that would have been worth about, let's see, would have been worth about 140.14. It would have been worth $3 or $4 a coin, you know? So imagine, guys, imagine if you had invested $1,000 in Litecoin back on March 4th of 2017. Do you understand what I'm saying? Imagine that. Just people, I sometimes kick myself too, all right? I have Litecoin, but I could have done a lot better if, who would have known, right? So $4, and then it goes up to 0.018. Imagine that. Imagine that, 0.018. That would have been great. So 429 goes to 0.018. Bitcoin's worth about $1,700 at that coin, and somebody's making, you know, $30, $40 a coin at that point on a $1,000 investment. They're making tens of thousands of dollars. This is a coin where you can see, you can absolutely see, guys, you can see huge investment opportunity. It's going up, it's an expanding market, upward moving market, and then boom, long lower shadow, and like I said, it doesn't always mean, but it's a good signal. And if you're seeing repetitive red bars, bear market, and you buy here again, and you're thinking, okay, well, relative to this, that's bad, but guys, what I need you to understand is bear market, bear market, bear market, bear market, bear market. Bought here, sold here, goes down, reinvested here, boom, made some money. Reinvested here, boom, made some money. Reinvested anywhere from here, boom, made some money. Reinvested here, boom, made some money. Huge potential, guys, huge potential. And this is yet another example of a coin that, Litecoin is going to be a coin that goes up several $100s in value. It might seem like a lot right now. Buy it. It's going to go up. It's going to go up in value. Along the way, recognize that you can use a very cool strategy. Sometimes I'll take like 40% of, like say I have 100 coins, 100 Litecoin. So I got $10,000 in Litecoin, I suppose. I'll take $4,000 of that. So say, you know, 40 Litecoin or something like that. And I'll go, okay, well, what if I day trade this? I look for those bear markets. What if I take 40% of my investments and I do this thing with it? I do this thing. So I'm like, okay, I bought down here, I sold here, I bought here, I sold here. Now I've taken my 40 coins, I've turned it into, you know, enough to be able to buy 60 at this. And then I sold it enough to buy 80 at this. And then I sold it enough to buy 100 at this. And now I've taken my 100 Litecoins with 40% of my investment and used 40 of them to acquire another 60, and now I have 200 Litecoins. All the while, I have my original 100 with a sell order that's huge. Like I have it way up to the moon because I know at some point in the future this is going to go way up and I'm going to make tons of money. But along the way, I've used some of my investment, not all of it, but some of it to day trade up to build up my portfolio in Litecoin, which at some point, the whole goal, guys, is I'm going to cash this out in exchange for Bitcoin at a certain point and then get my Bitcoin back again. It's all to build my Bitcoin portfolio. It's strategies to stack Bitcoin. So does that make sense, guys? I see there's 3 messages in the chat here. I'll open this up so I can see what you guys said. Igor, not everything, but definitely worth to be here. Igor, the Millionaire Mafia crypto training, everything I'm saying right here, I'm going to go explain it a little bit slower and easier, and then going to be uploading it into the training. I'm actually uploading that on Tuesday into the training. So no worries on that. You'll be able to catch up in there if you'd like. And awesome. Okay, so you guys understand that. Okay, next thing that I want to tell you guys. Oh, and if you want a couple, I showed you a couple coins. We looked at XEM, we looked at Litecoin. Day trading profits and also very good long-term coins. If you want to know some other coins that are definitely good long-term, so Coin, buy that, guys. It's worth a penny right now. Just imagine when it goes up to 2 pennies. Imagine when it goes up to 10 cents. It will. It's going to. It's a great coin. Invest in that. Coin, Litecoin, Syscoin, SYS, XLM, good coin. XEM, the one I'm on right now. Strat, STRT, Stratus, and then PowerCoin, POWR. Those are all coins that I am invested in, and I'm looking to actually, I have buy orders in on some of those because I don't want to buy them where they're at now. But I know that they'll fill. As a matter of fact, let's see. Last night I didn't have PowerCoin, I believe it was, but today I do because it fell below where I wanted. Okay, yeah, Power Ledger, Litecoin, and XEM. Those are all 3 coins that I bought yesterday, but they were not where I wanted to buy them. Actually, I went ahead and bought Litecoin anyways, but these 2 weren't where I wanted to buy them. Coin still isn't where I want to buy it, even though it's a penny. So I should just do that. But anyways, guys, what I typically do is I'll trade up to a certain point, and then I'll take my Bitcoin and I'll put it in like another wallet, like blockchain or Coinbase or something like that. And I've moved about 16 Bitcoin out of here in just like the last 2 months, which I still hold. And fortunately for me, the Bitcoin that I hold, most of my Bitcoin that I have, I own for $700 to $1,800 per coin, because it was by about May when it hit about $2,300 that I had already made about 13 Bitcoin, and I've been able to stack up about 38 Bitcoin this year now. So it's pretty cool. Not to mention, of course, anytime I can get paid in Bitcoin for my training and stuff like that, I do. And discipline is really good to have too, guys. I'm going to stop this share for a second. Discipline is really good to have because, you know, if you look at savings and money in a way where like a certain amount that you get from somewhere or like a certain stream you just don't touch. So I don't touch my Bitcoin. My Bitcoin is like my savings. If you look in my bank, you're like, whoa, this dude's poor. Like, I don't save anything in my bank account. As a matter of fact, I just got a notification from Wells Fargo saying I have inefficient funds. So I'll probably go take care of that. But like, that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, I just don't touch my Bitcoin. So like, I've made $2,300 today in Bitcoin before even getting on this webinar, and I don't touch that. Like, I don't touch that. That will be in my Bitcoin wallet for who knows how long. And at a certain point, when Bitcoin's $100,000 a coin, I might go like, okay, let's go buy a Lamborghini. What was the other thing that I was going to bring up? Oh, Blockfolio. There's several different apps that do this, but I would suggest that you open one of them. Blockfolio is a great app. Here's what I usually do. And I said app, not ass, for those of you that heard wrong. Blockfolio is a great app. you can set notifications in there. So if you're watching a coin, for example, all of the coins that do not have my buy orders filled yet, I'm watching. What I've done is I've gone into Bittrex and I put the amount of Satoshi I want to buy that coin at, but I went into Blockfolio and say it's currently at 500 Satoshi. I want to buy at 375 Satoshi. I will set it up to notify me if it goes below, say, 425 Satoshi. So more on the favor of my side, but not quite there. Because if it goes down to that point and it makes sense and it's like, okay, well, it's Psy coin. I'm waiting for it to tank, but it's only worth a penny anyways. Why not just be like, okay, I'll bite the bullet on it. Sometimes, on the flip side, say it's a coin that I am invested in and I want to sell it at 2,000 Satoshi, I own it for 500 Satoshi. I might put in a notification for it to let me know when it reaches 1,700 Satoshi. So I own it for 500. I'm going to make literally almost 3.5 times what I own it for, but I wanted to make 4 times. So I'll take my what I want to buy at and what I want to sell at compared to what it's currently at. I'll put it, you know, a little bit in between the current and the sell, a little bit in between the current and the buy. So when I'm not at my computer, I can go out and be like, oh, okay, I understand, I see. All right, this makes sense. That makes sense, guys? Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. The last thing that I want to show you is one more thing that I'm extremely excited about, and it's good because we're going to keep this to about an hour. Where's my notes? Okay. I'm going to show you an auto trading platform that I've been using, and I absolutely love it. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me do this. I'll stop the share for a second, so that way you guys don't see my passwords. All right. Let's see. Let's go to. Okay. Cool. All right. Commissions. My commissions, BTC. Okay. All right, now I will show you. Let's turn share screen, boom, and boom. All right, so a lot of you guys are familiar with this. Some of you aren't, but you will be now. USI Tech. This is an auto trading platform. You can see some of you guys on here. Sorry, but you're going to be shown. Jessica, I saw you on here, so you're going to see this. Declan, Jessica, Shalom. Anyways, Manya, you're in here too. Anyways, guys, this is USI Tech. USI Tech is an auto trading platform that also pays you commissions. When you go into USI Tech, they actually have their own coin that they're developing, and they have Bitcoin packages that earn for you. So you can earn an auto trade. You can earn off of recruiting. Recruiting is not required by any means. I actually want to show you guys the earnings that you could be making in the auto trade, which is amazing. Okay. But first of all, a package is like $60. Okay. Currently in Bitcoin, a $60 package that you get paid around 1% daily. So 0.75 to up to about 1.73% is the highest I've seen. But you can bet on about 1% daily. They trade on a Tuesday through Saturday cycle, so Sundays and Mondays they take off, but they trade on a Tuesday through Saturday cycle. What happens is you earn 1% daily, around, give or take, on every single package. In addition to that, you earn 10% direct commissions on your first level for every single person that you bring in. Okay, so once you have 3 people that have 12 packages, for example, it unlocks 3 tiers. You now have a first tier, second, and third tier commission. Then you get 4 people at 12, you can have a 4th tier commission, 5 people at 12, a 5th tier commission. And you can see it pays very well, right? So I've earned about 0.15 just in commissions, which is what, $1,700, something like that. But here's what I want to show you is if we go to, let's see, commissions, and we go to Bitcoin package calculator. This is what I want you guys to see. So you don't like recruiting, you don't like doing any of that, that's fine. And some of you might be like, well, how can we trust this? How do we know it'll work? I'll straight up tell you, I've been on private webinars with some of the founders, and I've also not invested in this until I seek expert review and opinion from people that know far more than I do in cryptocurrency, such as guys like Caleb Wright, who are multi-millionaires, of which I've learned most of my trading capabilities and expertise from. What was Caleb, and Caleb's been very involved with knowing on a personal level the people that actually developed USI. So while it was in development stages, he was in close communication with the guys saying, hey, here's what we're doing, this is what we plan on doing. And so I put a lot of my trust in that, and I put a lot of my trust in people that I know that are in this community that know just as much or more than I do. So here's what I want you to see. Look at how awesome this is. So say you started out at 100 Bitcoin packages, okay? That takes a little bit of an investment, and it's returning 1% daily. And you set it up to rebuy packages every single time it generates enough in the auto trade to buy another package. Here's what happens. So you start off at 100 packages, you have it on 100% rebuy. What's going to happen is after the trading day is over on day one, it's already going to have made enough money to buy another package. So now you have 101 packages, each earning 1% daily for you, give or take, sometimes more or less. By day two, it's able to earn another package. You start going along up in here. By day 15, it actually has enough to earn 2 packages. By, I believe, day 60, it's just doing, well, we can see, let's see. Day 62, it's doing 2 packages a day. Every single day, it's just doing 2 packages a day. Look at how crazy this is, though. Look at by day 90 of trading, you're earning 0.0126 a day. That's like $150 a day. Look at day 120, you're earning about $200 a day. Look at day 140, you're earning about $250 per day. So you know what you do? You invest. If you don't like recruiting, no problem. You earn just an auto trade. You set it up for 100% rebuy as a strategy, and after X amount of time, 140 trading days, 100 trading days, 90 trading days, 100 packages, 1,000 packages, whatever, you turn off your auto rebuy and you simply withdraw. And at that point, you're withdrawing 0.0208 Bitcoin a day. And at today's value, that's going to be about $250 a day in Bitcoin. Tomorrow's value, who knows? Maybe it's $500 a day. What's great? You get back your investment, and you get back everything you're withdrawing and everything that you reinvest. The fees, there aren't any. Where do they make their money? They're making more than the 1% that they're promising you every day. Okay? They're making far more than that. They are betting on, hey, we're experts, we're going to earn 2%, we're going to earn 3%, we're going to earn 10% daily. And as you can see, when you are day trading, for example, like what I've showed on Bittrex, it's not super hard to create massive profits when you know what you're doing. So you simply have experts doing that for you. Is what I'm saying making sense, guys? Do you get that? Does everybody understand that? Kathy, Andreas, Allison, Shake, Carl, everybody, I'm pretty sure you do. I know a couple of you guys are very well versed with Bitcoin already. Hopefully a couple of you guys actually took some value from this, and I will have it recorded. I will keep it in the Millionaire Mafia back office. If you have Millionaire Mafia Crypto Mastery, please be looking forward to the updates. I'm going to be putting in between tomorrow and the next day, adding those in there. There's going to be some really good videos in there and some really good training, which is going to go a little bit more in depth of what I just showed and a couple other things as well, plus my analysis on a few different coins and things like that. And then to remind you guys, if you don't already know, this week now through the 10th, we have a huge special going on. So I want to just remind all of you guys that are affiliates that currently are owners of Millionaire Mafia or are looking to get into Millionaire Mafia, anything. I just want to remind you guys, for the entire, put it this way, for the entire month, all orders are 20% off when paid in Bitcoin. So what's going to happen? If you are an affiliate and you're referring somebody, you can tell them, look, it's 20% Bitcoin back. So when they go to any of the funnels, there's an actual Bitcoin checkout, okay? It's going to tell them the exact amount that they have to send in Bitcoin. When I receive that, on my end, they have a form they fill out that says the name of the referral, and it shows me the amount that they've sent. When I see that, I can tell which order they've done, and I'm actually going to send them 20% back. So all orders for the entire month, 20% off is paid in Bitcoin. However, this week and this week only until the 10th, if you purchase Millionaire Mafia Instagram Mastery Platinum, which is $597, we're already giving it to you on the $300 discount, you're going to get Millionaire Mafia Crypto Mastery and Millionaire Mafia Marketing Affiliate Mastery completely free, okay? And if you pay with Bitcoin, you'll get 20% back or 20% off, okay? That's now through the 10th, which I believe is, I don't know, who cares what the 10th is, but now through the 10th. So Millionaire Mafia Instagram Mastery Platinum, they get the other two programs free. Or if they choose Millionaire Mafia Marketing Affiliate Mastery, they get Instagram Mastery and Crypto Mastery free. So they can spend $597 to get not only the Instagram course, but also the $697 marketing course and the $147 crypto course. Or they can buy the $697 marketing course if that's what you're marketing to them and pushing out running traffic to, and then they'll get Instagram and crypto completely free, 20% Bitcoin back the entire month. But if they buy either marketing or Instagram this week, they get the other two programs completely free. So if you want to take advantage of it, you can message me, or you can check out on millionairemafiaempire.com, which is millionaire, if I can spell right, millionairemafiaempire.com, and that is the link. All right, I appreciate you guys being on here. Did anybody learn anything at all? Did anybody find value in this? Did anybody like what we had? Does anybody have any questions at all? Bitcoin, marketing, sales funnel, Instagram related, anything? Yes? No? Anybody? Anybody have questions? Let's see. Let's see. Awesome, everyone. Whoops. I don't think I included the link. It's www.millionairemafiaempire.com. www. Boom. I don't know why it's doing that, everyone. There. Can everybody see the link, or is it not working? It says it's millionairemafiaempire.com. Okay, there we go. Got it. millionairemafiaempire.com. Okay, guys, questions, comments, concerns, anything like that? Other than that, we'll get off of here. You guys have an awesome day. Let me know. We good? Questions, comments, concerns? And I'm going to